Hi, Mike Kelly here. This is your last chance to save on all remaining 2013 models. Maxima SVs, now $10,500 off. Muranos, $5,500 off. And Pathfinder, $6,000 off. Go to westcountynissan.com today.
Mike, as hard as you guys have played each other this year, as good as the series has been, as close as it's been, is it almost fitting it comes down to one game take all?
Well, I don't think it's the way either of us had it pictured in our mind, but surprised, no. I mean, we talked about that early on. We knew there'd be some close games, and we knew that everybody out here would be fighting till the end. So, not surprised.
Another question for Mike over here towards the right.
Mike, are you big on motivational speeches before a game like this, or is it just go play like it's another one of 162?
I would be big on it if I thought it was necessary. I've said this before, I'm not big on team meetings just to have meetings, but if something's missing, something's lacking, especially the things that we can control, like our concentration or the effort, and obviously from our last game, those aren't issues. So when the guys are going about it the right way, when they're preparing, and they're absolutely fighting, you want them to just keep going that way. We got meetings still today as far as same things we always do. We meet with the pitchers with the starters about the game plan for the day and for our hitters against the starter. But as far as a big get-together and me try and motivate, they're already motivated.
Right here in front, Derek.
Mike, we saw a lot of Daniel Descalso at shortstop towards the end of the year as you went sort of with the hot hand, somewhat with a platoon there. What has Pete done to merit the start today and also through this series to sort of get the increasing start and move back into that role that he had in last October?
Yeah, I think you answered it yourself with the hot hand. I mean, I'm watching Pete walk into the batter's box with a lot of confidence right now. Defensively, there's never been a question what Pete can do and how well of a job he's done for us at shortstop. So with that in mind, we just want to continue to try and keep that positive momentum that he has offensively and put him in this lineup to help make an impact somewhere.
Mike, without asking you to give away the game plan, is it possible to make a significant alteration in the approach against somebody like Cole?
Yeah, it's possible. Especially when you're facing somebody for the first time, I think it's real important that you just stay fluid with your approach anyhow. And guys have done a terrific job this year, really led by John Mabry with coming back after every at-bat and making sure that you're staying on top of what you see and how that could possibly help the next guy up. And they've done a real nice job of that. So I know that those are conversations that they've already had since we got back here from Pittsburgh, conversations that they're going to continue to have through the day about what they saw, what they continue to observe on video, and what their approach is going to be. But it's going to change at-bat to at-bat. I mean, they've got an overarching idea of what they're going to try and do for the day, but it's going to have to change as the game goes on.
Mike, how do you view Matt Carpenter, who had an MVP kind of season for you, and the way he struggled? Do you stay away from him? Do you just let him work it out? How do you handle Matt Carpenter at this situation?
I think just like everything else, we handle him the exact same way we've handled him all season long, and we believe in communicating around here. We just we don't stay away from guys and think that's going to fix things. I mean, there's times when we give him a little more rest. Right now, Matt's guilty of caring too much is what I see, and I think everybody else agrees. This kid has completely bought into that idea that it's about us and not himself, and feels that probably he needs to carry more weight than what he actually does. So we're just convinced and trying to convince him that he just needs to go be the same guy that he's been all season, not with production-wise, but just with the approach, just with the expectation, where he goes out and is himself. He doesn't need to carry this offense. He needs to be Matt Carpenter, nothing more, nothing less, and to trust himself and to trust the fact that the kind of season that he had was not a fluke, and it's going to translate this year. It's going to translate this postseason. If he trusts himself, it's going to translate in the future.
Like, what makes, I mean, Adam Wainwright's been one of the best pitchers in the league for a while now. What makes him as good as he is? And I guess could you just talk about your level of confidence for him in this kind of situation?
Well, I have the utmost confidence and utmost respect, as everybody else in that clubhouse does. You try to draw up what an ace should look like on a staff, and Adam Wainwright embodies that, not just when he's on the mound, but how he handles himself in the clubhouse and away. He's a pro, and the competitor in him really is something that you match that up with the stuff. The stuff's obvious that he's got above average ability to pitch, but a situation like today and games that he's pitched like this one in the past and how well he's done and how well he's fought, that's part of the respect factor that goes into our pitching staff. But he's the guy that we want on the mound today. There's no question, and he's done a great job. You start talking about all the young pitchers that we've had and some of the impact that they've been able to make this year, and you can't have that conversation without including the influence that Adam Wainwright's had on him.
Hey, Mike, with being with Tony all those years in the playoffs, do you have to manage differently in postseason than regular season? I mean, last night you saw Leland bring in Scherzer for a couple innings. For a Game 5, do you do things you wouldn't do during the regular season, maybe tonight?
Well, obviously there's a lot of urgency tonight, so we don't rule out anything. But we've got a game plan going in, and you're going to have to probably be able to move a lot quicker if things don't look like they're following the plan. We have almost an all hands on deck. We do have some young pitchers that we're concerned about. Not throwing them out there too soon and into situations they haven't been put into before. We just have to be careful with them. But for the most part, we've got plenty of arms down there. We're not afraid to make an adjustment if we need to, but we're going into this thing having full faith that from our starting pitcher right down through the guys in the lineup that they're going to be able to do the things that they've been doing all season long.
Any last ones for Mike? Right here in front, Derek.
Mike, in that vein, is Joe Kelly available today out of the pen? Is the only arm not available, would it be Waka?
We're going to be careful with Joe as well. Joe and Michael most likely wouldn't be available today.